What's up, you guys? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'll wait for a few more people to get in here. And then we'll go. We'll start talking. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on with you guys? What's the word? Wait for a few more people to get in here and then we'll start. Can you guys hear me good? Columbus, Ohio in the house. Can you guys hear me well? You hear my voice? Can you guys hear my voice? Am I okay? My volume level? My volume? Okay, it's good. Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm back, you guys. Have the official autopsy report. We're going to go over it. I wish I could post it on here, but I'm still figuring out this StreamYard. I'm not on StreamYard. I'm on YouTube, but I really wish that I could post it for you to see it. Maybe I'll do another video and actually post the actual autopsy report. But I do have it right here with me. I have the autopsy report. And, you know, as you can see, I have the official autopsy report. Hold on. We'll let a few more people get in here. And then we'll get started, you guys. But I do have the official autopsy report, just so you see that I'm not making it up. You see that? Okay. That is the official autopsy report. Angie Stone, date of death March 1st, weight 160 pounds. We're going to let some more people get in. Share this live, you guys. Let's let a few more people get in here. And, you know, you guys, I don't know, man. Is this going to put to rest a lot of people's thoughts about what happened? Probably not. After I read it, I'm just kind of like, I still feel like there's still more to this, but at least some people that will hear what I'm going to say as I read it, I'm thinking maybe this will make you feel a little bit better, give you some sort of closure. It didn't really give me closure. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm still kind of like something's not making sense, but we gotta, you know, let me say something to you. So somebody on the last video sent me the spirit box thing, right? Man, I'm gonna say this to you guys. Like that was kind of freaky a little bit for me because the person coming out of the spirit box sounded just like Angie, even like the and the and the baby, and some of the words that were used are exactly how she talks. So I'm not, I mean, I'm kind of familiar with some of those spirit box things because I kind of follow this one channel, but I'm not familiar with it, like how it really, the mechanics of the working of it. I am in the audio business, the recording business, so I do understand about capturing voices and you know, frequencies. Sit in the room and I could set a mic up and leave the house, and there are frequencies that's in everybody's homes, right, that you can pick up. And if I come back home, you actually hear voices because when you're inside of a home, there's like, as I'm talking, this frequency stays in the house. So even when I stop talking, the sound waves are bouncing off the wall, right? And they keep bouncing off the wall. I'm giving you audio technology right now, right? Audio tech talk. So the waves continue to bounce. So I could actually set a mic up and record and leave, and you'll think you're hearing people talking, but you're actually hearing all the leftover audio waves that are still in that room. And it could be from years ago because some of them don't necessarily leave, like they're still bouncing like this from wall to wall. The audio waves from conversations prior to you being in the house, or when you're there, or somebody lived there before, all those audio energies are still there in waveform. You can't see it. It's like wind and air, but it's bouncing back and forth. So, but I don't know how the spirit box thing works, but I was very kind of freaked out a little bit about it because it sounded so much like Angie, man. And the way that person coming from the spirit box on that other end, if that wasn't Angie, then I don't I don't know who it was because it sure sounded like her. And I'm not even BSing you guys. I was shocked. Thank you to the person that sent that to me. I appreciate you. Somebody sent it on the last live. So we have to get into this. Let's get these numbers up, man. Let's get up to 200. We're going to start talking about. I do have Angie. Once again, I have Angie Stone's actual autopsy report, the official autopsy report right here, you guys. I'm sorry I have it on my phone and it's not on the screen. There it is right there. You see, as you can see, we're going to go over it. And you guys are going to be rather shocked because I was. Let's get a few more people here, share it live. I want to get up to 200 and then we're going to go in, man. We're going to go in and we're going to talk about this because this is, you guys, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, you guys. I don't really know what to say, but this is sad. And did it give me closure? Not necessarily. Did it make me go, okay, let me, I can deal with this and let me still figure out other things that might have happened. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, okay, this happened, but there's still something else that's connected to this that's not making any sense. So we're going to see where this goes, you guys. Let's get into it. You ready? You guys ready? All right, man. So we're going to read the autopsy report. This report is from the Department of Forensic Science out of Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, that is. And it is dated March 3rd, 2025. Now, here's what bothers me. Okay, this was done on March 3rd. The autopsy was done March 3rd. So if it was done March 3rd, why did it take so long to release an autopsy? Why? Why? It happened on the 1st. They did the autopsy 2 days later. I know the autopsy was done early because I talked to this detective called Detective Panther from Alabama. He told me it had already been done. He said he was waiting for the autopsy, right? But why was the accident on the 1st and autopsy was done on the 3rd? Why so long? And then we're just now seeing it appear. Why now? Why are we seeing the autopsy now? Why is now a good time to put out the autopsy? Why now? Why now is the question. Why not a press release to talk about the autopsy? We have it. My circle of people have it. We have it. Why has there not been an official press release about this autopsy? Why not? I want to know, you guys, what is the problem? Why is there not an official autopsy report, press conference about the case? We're still investigating the case. Here's the autopsy, you guys, right here. This is what happened to Mpxone, you guys, and we're constantly and consistently investigating this case. This is still an open case. We're still getting leads. Why is it that I'm able to get on here and talk about this and there's not a press release in Alabama today, right now? I'm just trying to make sense of this shit. Today, right now. Why not? Today, right now, this moment. Why is there Stone, Paxton, and my other folks, because it's only a few of us that are about to do this. Why is it us? Why is it us? Why, you guys? Why? This shit is not making any sense. I don't care what nobody says. Yes, here's the autopsy report. Yes, it is. Here it is right here. We're happy we got it, right? We are happy that we have the autopsy report. Everybody's happy, right? Question of the day is, why now? Let me lighten this up real quick. The question of the day is, why now? We need answers, you guys. I guess this is to shut everybody up, right? I think that's what this is. Let's throw the autopsy report, shut everybody up. There it is. I don't know. I know my light might do some weird shit. And I apologize that I'm not posting this, right? But I've been trying to give you guys live videos. I could have done a video where I just talked and then posted it. I will do that in another video. I'll do a short video and post this stuff right here. I'll do a short after this and post the document so you can see. But once again, why are we seeing this now? So let's get into this. You guys ready? Angie Stone, and here's the weird part, because you think they would have Angela Laverne Brown Stone, right? You think they would have that. County of death, Montgomery, age 63, race black. At least they didn't say Negro. I hate when I see that Negro, you know, when they have it on the application, say race Negro. I don't know why I've always been bothered by when they do that, right? Sex female, length 63 inches, weight 160 pounds, healthy, beautiful woman. Final diagnosis is what it says on the autopsy. Final diagnosis. Okay, here we are. You guys ready for number one? Here it is. And it's just a lot of things I feel like that are missing in this report, but of course, this is not the police report. Remember, this is the autopsy report. Blunt force injuries. So we're going to break that down. Blunt force injuries. A, head and neck. Conjunctival, it says pachia of both eyes, pachia of oral mucosis. I'm sorry. So conjunctional pachia of both eyes and pachia of oral mucosis. Now, it sounds like to me, that's like whenever there's some sort of strain going on, like, and there's not enough blood getting to, like, instead of the oral mucus, that's the mouth, which is the tongue. And then of course the eyes. So like something that's, you're being strained or something, right? And it's causing like a strain, and you get these like blots and patches on your tongue or your eyes from being strained. Like when a person gets strangled, you know, I'm not saying that's what happened because we're going to go through reading it, but if a person gets choked, you see that in their eyes, right? They get these blots in their eyes. That's from the vessels and the veins and stuff being strained, right? B, torso. Minor abrasions. Number 2, fractures of lateral left ribs, 4, 5, and 10. Okay, number 3 says fractures of the interior 2nd through 6th left ribs. Okay. Number 4 says laceration of spleen with associated hemoperitoneum. Number 5 says lacerations of right ventricle of heart with associated pericardium. Hemopericardium. I'm sorry. So I'll read that again. Number 5 says lacerations of right ventricle heart with associated pericardium. Okay, pericardium. There it is. I'm sorry. This is all medical words, so you got to really dig deep and make sure you say them right. C, category C, extremities. Number 1, abrasions of a right shoulder region. That's right here, you guys. Number 2, abrasions of both knees. Y'all starting to paint the picture now. We starting to get close to, you starting to see the picture of possibly what happened. We're going to get to it. Number C, hold on. Number D, excuse me. D, history of motor vehicle crash. Y'all ready? History of motor vehicle crash. Descendant found pinned beneath the vehicle. So she was pinned. So this is my assumption. When the van flipped, when the van flipped, and then it finally made its final destination land, because it doesn't say it in here, this is my assumption. She got thrown probably out of that side window where she was sitting, and she was pinned under. Because it says she was pinned. I'm reading it. It said history of motor vehicle crash and descendant found pinned beneath the vehicle. So that means beneath the ground in the vehicle she was pinned. So that explains when they talked about the eyes and the mucocus, that's the tongue. It had, you know, the dots. What it gets is like red and purple dots on the tongue, and the same thing in the eyes. That comes from the blood circulation being cut off. Like, because you got to remember, think about all that pressure that was on her, the vehicle, all the pressure that was on her, that van, the Sprinter, all the pressure laying on her. Now, I'll tell you what was told to me. I've never revealed this. That morning of the hospital conversation with Shayna didn't say too much, but then later on that day, I get a phone call, and these are the things I was told. I was told that Angie was screaming. Now, this is the first time I'm sharing this, that she was yelling for help. She was yelling for help. She was screaming. She was yelling for help. Now, this makes sense why she was yelling for help. They said she was yelling. This was told to me. I never shared this, but now I'm putting two and two together. She was yelling for help. It makes sense. She's pinned. She's asking for help. She's barely breathing. It's crushing her. It broke her ribs. I just broke it down to you how many of her ribs were broken, right? Her eyes were probably, she's having a hard time seeing because that heavy van was putting pressure on everything. It was cutting blood circulation off. So that's going to happen. She wanted it off of her. She was asking for help. Maybe this is why nobody could help, because trying to imagine lifting a Sprinter. But they do say whenever you're in a situation and there's fear, you get the strength of how many animals to be able to move something. So I think if enough people came together, they could have lifted that motherfucking Sprinter off of her. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I feel like they could have lifted it. If everybody in that band came together and tried their hardest, they could have lifted that shit. Okay. It also goes into the natural diseases that she had. Hypertension, cardiovascular disease. That's A. Number one, cardiomyopathy. Number two, left ventricle hypertrophy. I'm sorry. Number three, nephroclerosis. I actually got to look that up because I don't know what that means. Number B is it says cardiovascular disease. One, calcific coronary artery disease. Number two, aortic, iliac, and mesenteric atherosclerosis. I got to say it right. Atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis, you guys. Sorry, I'm so damn tongue twisted. These medical words will have your tongue twisted around. Anyway, so that's what it says there. So let's go down a little bit further. It says Angie Stone, here's the case number. It says dense abrasions of both pleural cavities, dense adhesions of both pleural cavities. Number D, history of diabetes. We already know that, right? Cause of death, final cause of death. This is what they said. Traumatic asphyxiation. Traumatic asphyxiation. Traumatic asphyxiation. All right, there we are. Okay. You know, it's funny because I went to medical school as my first minor before I changed my minor. And so I've always had issues with certain words. It's like they get, because these medical words the play on them be kind of weird. Anyway, this is the final cause of death. Traumatic asphyxiation. So the pressure of that Sprinter on her, laying on her for a period of time, nobody could get it up. That was probably the final cause of death, because obviously she was still alive when the van flipped and it landed on her. I'm thinking she had to have been thrown out of the window. She had to have been. That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe when it leaned, the window broke enough for her body to kind of fall out of it enough to be pinned under it. This is just my thoughts, right? Because I'm trying to see it. Because they didn't say she was thrown out of the van. But only other way you would be pinned is if something had to be laying halfway out of that van, and it had to be out of that window side So maybe half of her body was laying out, and that's how she was laying under to be pinned between the van and the ground, right? That's the only way. Well, you think it would have been a little bit more detailed, but that's probably in the police report, right? So contributory, they got the contributory here. It says blunt force injuries of the torso. So listen to that. Blunt force injuries of the torso, hypertensive, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. So they just put it all together. I don't know how they're saying that diabetes and all that was part of like the cause of death, when really the cause of death would just be traumatic asphyxiation. That's really the cause. But they added all the other things that was wrong with her, like diabetes and all that. And I don't know why they put that, because that's not why she passed away. I guess they're saying, well, you know, that helped with the process. I'm not quite sure why they put that shit on there, right? Manner of death, accident. Duh, we know that, right? And it says evidence of injury. So let me read this to you. It said blunt force injuries, head and neck. They're abundant patechi of the bulbar and pulpebral conjunctive of both eyes. Okay. There are, hold on, let me blow this up. There are peat. This looks like peat. There are peachy of the oral. They're peachy of the oral and mucocus. There are peachy of the oral and mucocus. I have no idea why I can't say that. The mucosa. Okay. And it says also B torso. There are fractures of interior fourth, fifth. Damn, you guys. This is crazy, man. There are fractures of the interior inside. So she could have had a lot of inside bleeding too. Interior fourth, fifth, and 10th left ribs. She was in pain. God bless her spirit. God bless Stony, man. This shit is, even reading this shit is just fucks with me. Left ribs, the fourth, fifth, and 10th left ribs and fractures of interior. The second through sixth left ribs. There is a laceration of the spleen that measures 3 inches by 1 1/2 inch with an associated hematorium, approximately 200 milliliters of liquid. Oh, God bless her heart, man. She had a laceration of the spleen, you guys. And 200 milliliters of blood, of liquid, said liquid and clotted blood. There's a laceration of the right ventricle of the heart that measures 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch with an associated 50 milliliter hemopercadium, approximately 50 milliliters of liquid. Any of my nurses in here, if I'm saying it wrong, you guys, I apologize. But there's another 50 milliliters of liquid blood there. She was losing blood. There was a laceration of the right ventricle of the heart, as well as a laceration of the spleen. So even if they were able to get the sprinter off of her, she might not have even lived. She might have passed away to the hospital because she had internal bleeding. The spleen had a laceration. The right ventricle of the heart, she had a laceration of 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch with associated 50 milliliters of liquid, 50 milliliters of liquid blood, you guys. Extremities, number C. There's an abrasion of the right shoulder region, an abrasion of both knee regions. So it seems to me she was pinned from the waist all the way down, which means she had to have gotten, maybe her legs were outside of the van, maybe her torso. Okay, so when the van, I'm thinking if the van got flipped, right? She got her, maybe her lower half of her body got thrown out of the window. So she was out, the feet part was out of the window, and from her waist down had to have been pinned. So she might have been still inside and outside of the van, because it never said that she was thrown out. So that means she was inside the van and half of her body was probably outside that window and pinned under the van. That had to have been exactly what happened, you guys. This shit is horrifying, man. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry to even have to read this to you, but I know that I told you that I was going to read the autopsy because you guys deserve to know what the autopsy said. Oh man. Okay. External examinations. The following includes any previously described injuries. Body habitus. The body is that of well-developed, well-nourished female, received, clothed, reported age of 63. Condition of the body when they received it. They said body is cold, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read all of this shit. I don't want to read everything. You guys, I'm sorry that, for the people that are on here, I apologize if I chop some of these words up. My apologies. When I do post it, you can read through it and decipher the words, and, we all have a hard time describing medical words. They're just, some of them are not easy to always say. And I'm well versed with words, and I had a hard time with some of these words. I talked about the eyes, blah, blah, blah. Break down some other things. It's talking about her eyes, and they give a description of that oral cavity. It said the lips and the eyes were like purple and red. So when you see that word, mucocus, scattered petechia, scattered petechia, it's like purple and red marks that would be on the tongue or the eyes whenever you get like an asphyxiation, like if something's on you and it's too heavy and it's straining you, your blood, you can't get proper blood circulation. So, your eyes get affected first, and also your tongue, because you're trying to get your body's trying to get the blood circulation to flow through, and then certain areas start to get affected, right? Ears, the ears are remarkable. Said the ears are remarkable. The neck is unremarkable. The neck is unremarkable. The trachea is palpably in the midline of the neck. I don't know what they mean by that, because they said the ears are remarkable. They're just giving a breakdown of, I guess, reviewing other stuff. So the neck is unremarkable. The trachea is palpably in the middle of the neck. So I don't know if that accident caused that. Hmm. Hmm. When they do these autopsies, they really write some strange ass shit, man. This makes me look at autopsies. Just that some of the stuff they write. Maybe the South is different than the West Coast. I don't know, but I'm just looking at. It's just weird the way they write certain shit. Certain stuff I'm just not gonna read, you guys. I'm sorry. When I post it, you can read it if you'd like, but I'm not gonna read it. So, so even though she was pinned, none with her organs, nothing damaged any organs. It said that our internal organs are in normal anatomical position, so nothing moved any organs in her body from her being pinned. I guess her being pinned was being asphyxiated. It just cut off maybe her breathing, her air because that band was so heavy, and then of course her spleen had been, her spleen had lacerations in her right ventricle of her heart, had lacerations, and I'm thinking that's probably really was the cause of the death. But either way it goes, with that band being on her, even if she didn't have the lacerations of the spleen or the right ventricle of the heart, she still would have probably just because asphyxiated, because being under that band, she wouldn't have been able to still get enough air, and she would have passed away either way, you guys. Wow. Man, there's so much in this autopsy that's just like, I would like to see the official police report. I can't wait to see if they're going to do a press release. Wow. This is a pretty detailed autopsy report, like most of them are. But I'm certain things I'm just not going to get into reading. I just think maybe it's too much. Wow. Hey, check this out, you guys. This is pretty interesting. So this right here says post mortem radiographs. Now check this one out. Now this one here is kind of weird. It said ancillary studies, right? So they did a radiogram on her. Post mortem. It says post mortem radiogram. Digital radiogram of the head, chest, abdomen, and pelvis demonstrates injuries as described above without retained metallic projectiles, right? It said without retained metallic projectiles. I wonder what that is. It says microscopic examinations. Portions of organs are retained in formalin without preparation of histology slides. I think it's interesting with the metallic projectiles. Injuries as described above without retained metallic projectiles. We're going to do some research on that. Toxicology analysis. Let's read that. Okay. Oh, that was toxicology. They felt like this was done correct to the best of their knowledge. Some of this I'm not going to read, you guys. The toxicology report, I'm probably not going to read that. It's nothing bad, but I just don't want to read it, you guys. Results. ND. Methods, HSGCMS. analyte, specimen blood, femoral, blood femoral, vitreous humor, blood femoral. I don't know, man. This is weird, you guys. I don't know. Let me ask you guys a question. I'm looking at the evidence analyzed, including sub items. I think this falls under the toxicology report, right? It said blood femoral, right? Blood femoral. It said ethanol. Ethanol. How would ethanol? Now, I haven't dealt with the medical part of my training. That was when I was younger, wanting to be in the medical field as a minor. But I got a question to ask all you guys. How does ethanol get in somebody's blood? It said blood, it's a specimen, blood femoral, ethanol. Ethanol. How does ethanol get in one's blood? And I'm thinking, I got to do a little bit more research, but I don't think that sounds normal to me. Does that sound normal to you guys? I could be wrong. I'm asking for you guys' help. How does ethanol get in somebody's blood? It says it right here. I'm not making this shit up. And then on the second line, it says blood femoral drugs. Well, everybody smokes weed. That's normal, right? These days, people smoke weed. That's normal. I am worried about the ethanol part. What would put ethanol in a person's blood, you guys? What would put ethanol in a person's blood? It doesn't say alcohol. It says ethanol. 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 But I'm saying, what would put that in the blood? You're saying alcohol would put that in the blood, drinking? Is that what you're saying? The critic, don't come on my channel with the bullshit. If I don't answer your questions, put some money up there. You want me to ask your motherfucking questions. You want to be noticed. Other than that, get the fuck off my channel with your bullshit. Don't be coming in here playing no games with me. I'll be trying to tell y'all that shit. Fuck out of here. Why are you trying to speak for somebody, critic? Who are you? The monitor and shit? Fuck up out of here. That bullshit. Thank you to all my nurses up in here. Definitely alcohol. T said definitely alcohol. Okay. That's why I'm asking you guys. Somebody said maybe a shot. This is what petechia looks like. Okay, let me show you guys something. This is what petechia looks like on the tongue. So when I said the word petechia, that's what that looks like. So read what that says. That's what petechia looks like on one's tongue. See? So if you're in an accident or there's something heavy on you, that you also get that in the eyes as well. Okay? Just so you know. Oh yeah, Shayna definitely was giving her those herbs. Remember when I talked about that? I talked about the herbs that was being given to Angie. For sure. Shayna definitely was serving her the herbs. I know that for a fact. I got about 4 people, including me, knowing that because Angie told me that she was getting herbs and that I guess Shayna was giving her the herbs. I don't know what it was because I never asked her what it was, but she said she was taking herbs. And then 4 other people confirmed it. Even after she passed, they confirmed with me exactly what she had already told me. It was some kind of herbs from somebody that I don't even know really who was from, but somebody told me where they came from, but Angie never told me where they came from. I just knew she was taking herbs, and she told me that Shayna would give her the herbs and stuff or remind her to take them and shit like that, right? So I guess when I get on, and here's the thing, somebody inboxed me, a few people have been inboxing me, and they'll tell me, oh, I sent your video to Diamond, and then they say Diamond hit them up talking about Stone is one of the biggest liars online. You a goddamn lie, Diamond. You're one of the biggest liars online. Stone doesn't need to lie. Why would I spend all these months sitting online lying? Is it fun? Do I get something out of lying? Do I get something out of just sitting here entertaining myself with some lies? No. No, Diamond. I know that Shayna's in your head because you weren't saying that about me at first. Michael's never said it because Michael know my intentions. Shayna won't get her fat ass online and talk about none because she's scared people gonna be on her head, and she knows why she's not speaking. She knows why. Because if she gets online, starts speaking, I think other people will start coming out the woodworks. I figured out why Shayna shells Bun Shade, motherfucking Bun Shade, Shayna Shell, the Rock, the whatever. The seashell, why she want, I started thinking, why won't this woman get online and speak? She won't get online and speak because some of the people that know her will start popping up. Y'all think about this. Wouldn't you want to get online and defend yourself when people are saying that you've done all this stuff and you're a part of some dark stuff? Wouldn't the average person, we want to get online and say, hey, wait a minute. Not her. She hides behind Diamond and she hides behind Michael, and she's a puppet master for Diamond. No matter how much Diamond says she isn't, she's a puppet master because she's holding them checks. They don't get no checks without them. Without her, she's running the play. She's controlling the little funds where they go. Hey, even check this out. Even this court case with Diamond that's coming up. Think about that GoFundMe. She needed money for an attorney. Then all of a sudden the GoFundMe raising money for, for what? Miss Stone is gone. Why y'all raising money? She needed to pay that court cost. She needed to pay for that court that was coming up with those cases she got, those 2 charges that I showed y'all the other day. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like this whole situation with Shayna and Diamond is starting to look like a song and dance with these motherfuckers, man. It's starting to look like a song, not even the perfect song and dance, because Diamond makes it so obvious. At least Shayna was hiding. Shayna's smart enough to shut her mouth and talk behind closed doors. Oh, she's a talker now. Don't get me wrong. She can run her motherfucking mouth. Y'all just ain't heard how she talked. But behind closed doors, she's doing all that. And as she's looking out the window, she's throwing rocks at the same time. See what I'm saying? She's the one that's pulling the strings on Diamond. Better believe that. Diamond thinks she's in control. No, Shayna is controlling all that because she's in their head. And if you remember, that's all I was trying to say is wake them up. But then Diamond gets mad because I'm talking about Shayna. Even though she didn't say that to me, I know she is because Shayna's got her saying that I'm a liar. Diamond, how I want to know. Go on your live, tell everybody on YouTube one thing Stone has lied about because he hasn't. See, I don't like doing the receipts. I got emails, I got contracts, I got texts back and forth with Angie. You can't say I wasn't doing business for your mom. You can't say that. So what am I lying about? I met your mom in 2010 at the Hoodie Awards here in Las Vegas. You think I just met your mom? That's how dumb people can be. You think I know so many people, and I've been in the music industry for 40 years. There's not a person that I don't know. And if they don't know me, they know the person next to me. So they know of me. But most people I've dealt with. So what would make you think I never knew your mom before I started helping her with her business? That's the mistake you made. That shows how small-minded you are. Because you actually believe the bullshit because maybe Shayna told you, oh, he don't know your mom. He just met your mom just now, girl. Wrong. I knew your mom. She wasn't my best friend. Back then, I knew her from back then. She wasn't my best friend from 2010, but I met her in 2010. You understand what I'm saying? That's when I first met her. And I hit her up about me and her doing a duet when she had some guy, I don't know if that was the guy she was married to, was managing her. And she told me, Stoney, she said, get with my manager because I like doing everything by the book. But whoever this dude she was married to at the time, and it wasn't your dad, it was some other guy she was married to. For some reason, she told me, just contact him, tell him you talked to me, and I did. But he never got back with me. So her and I actually talked about that when I started handling business for her. I said, whatever happened to that person that you were managing? She told me what happened to the person. It was crazy when she told me what happened to the person she was married to. Right. And I said, I hit him up and told him what you said. She said, he never hit you back. I said, nope. So I was trying to get a song with her, a duet on my album back then. That never happened. So don't you ever tell me I don't know your mom like I don't know. I ain't just no Rudy Poo nigga just hanging out in front of your house waiting for somebody to come out the house to meet your mom. Nigga, I've been knowing your mom. But yes, I wasn't handling her business until the call was made. Then that's when that went into effect. So now there you are. So now all the others, that could be the only thing you're talking about I'm lying about. And I never lied about that. I just never told anybody when I met her. It was nobody's business when I met her. If I'd have met her 2 days before she passed away, that's nobody's business but mine and hers. But you didn't know that I've known her since 2010. Now, how does that feel? Get out of here with that bullshit, man. Stop telling people I'm lying just to make yourself feel good. Because, see, I got the receipts. I don't need to lie. And I would not waste my energy sitting on this YouTube telling my truth. For what? To appease my ego? Fuck my ego. It's not about me. This is about Angela Laverne Brown Stone. That's what this is about. This ain't about Stone Paxton. It has never been. See, y'all made this about y'all. That's why y'all can't seem. You're stealing your own money. I'm going to show you something. How much sense does this make? You're stealing your own money that you don't even have to steal. What I mean by that is, if you're allowing this Shayna girl to concoct the concept up to steal from your own estate, you're stealing from your own self. Because I will say again, you don't need her to get your money. You don't need her. Michael don't need her. You don't need her. I don't understand what y'all got her there for. Besides being a donkey. But then again, she's not. Because she is the puppet master. I got to give her that credit. She's a doozy, but she is the puppet master that's pulling all the strings on you guys. But she's also being puppeted by somebody else. Somebody's doing her like this. There's a cycle of this shit. This autopsy report makes no fucking sense. Once again, I'm sorry to the people that, for me chopping the words up. I apologize. Y'all know how these medical terms be with the words. Sometimes the wording is crazy. My apologies. But looking at that is still rather weird. I could say, hey, you guys, it's over with. Let's stop. There's an autopsy report. It showed that it was an accident. They're ruling that. If they're saying accident on the autopsy, what do you think the police and FBI are thinking? You think they're not going to roll with that same bullshit? I'm just saying. Is the fight over, or is everybody here going to continue to try to figure out this shit? Because it's still not making much sense that accident just happened out of the blue. I'm just saying, man. Is it the fault of the band? Was the band a phony band? Was there a recall on the band? I've heard all kinds of shit. Was there a recall on that band? Thank you for the $2 donation. Saudi, I've seen you in a minute, Saudi Ali. Somebody said that band has some sort of recall. I don't know, with the steering or something. I'd have to look it up. So was that an issue with the band? Was there an issue with the band that caused the accident with steering? Is that something we need to be looking into? We need to figure out what really happened and what caused the accident. If it was the band, then something needs to be done about that. Somebody needs to be sued. If there were people involved in making that happen, then that's something that needs to be looked into as well. Because surely there's been a lot of people that's been very quiet about this shit. And I understand you're getting paid. I understand you want your money from the lawsuit, so you ain't at liberty to talk right now because you don't want to fuck up your dollars. So your dollars are more important to you than this lady that gave you the opportunity. And you don't want to speak on it. I don't want to mess up my money. or the people that were in the band, the ones that have not spoken. Was it worth the money? When you get the money, ask yourself this. There's a beautiful woman who changed a lot of men's and women's lives, and you got to live with this shit the rest of your life. What are you going to do? Wait till you get that check from the attorney, then go write a book? Because then that's you really playing yourself then. You're going to get the check from the lawsuit, and then you're going to probably go write a book and do interviews then. If you do that, that's going to be some real fucked up shit, because you're doing that at the 9th hour. Why wait and do it then? Why not do it now? You could talk about limited stuff. You could tell your attorney, look, I ain't gonna mention no names, but I just want to get on there and just say a little bit. You got the power. Your attorney listens to you. You don't work for your attorney. Your attorney works for you. So you could actually still get on camera and talk. Make it all make sense to me with the people that were in the band, besides the ones that have already spoken. The twins, Paxton, other guys in the band, nobody has spoken. I want to know why. I want to know why, because it ain't making sense. Because you guys can make sense of this shit. Now, I know things from that morning because I was told things. But I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. And you can't tell me you can't speak. Because even I've been involved in accidents. And yeah, you signed not to talk to the other insurance companies and shit. But you could talk to your family. You can go on your live and say certain shit. You ain't got to incriminate yourself. And you don't have to give detail. You can say, I was sitting right here in the band when it happened. You ain't even got to go into full detail. I did it. I talked since March 1st. I've been talking. I didn't mention no names until later on. I wasn't in the band, though. So you can actually talk and talk about it without mentioning names. Ashton, twins, the band, you guys could talk without mentioning names. The fans want to know. The world wants to know, like the secrets. I can keep telling stuff I know, but it's not the same if it's not coming from the people that's in the band, man. Why don't y'all just get on here and talk a little bit? Because this autopsy report, there's some missing pieces to this shit that you guys can open up the light to. But right now you're worried about, I know you're seeing that check, right? It might take you a year to get that shit. You're going to sit for a year, and that's the respect you give to this lady that showed you love. The respect you give is thanks for the $2, Saudi. You sent it again. Thank you, family. That's the respect you give to Miss Angie Stone. Just you ain't going to say shit. You ain't going to say nothing. You letting the family take all the pressure. You letting, me come on here and talk. I've been telling my truth. You letting all the other people. Meanwhile, y'all sitting back like this because y'all want that check. I'm just saying, does that feel good? How does that feel? Does it feel good? Is the check outweighing the truth? Are you scared to speak because you were in the band with something that made you feel like maybe you don't want to talk? Were you told not to speak? Not by the attorneys. Did somebody message you and say you better not say a goddamn thing? You know what I'm saying? Did somebody say that to you? What is it? It's something, because you haven't said nothing. And from my research, you didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement, but you did sign the next day. And I talked about that. I was the first one to tell that you guys signed the next day with an attorney. But once again, that attorney works for you. You have the power to say, Mr. Attorney, I am going to get online and I'm going to tell a little bit of my truth. I'm not going to incriminate, say no names, but I'm going to talk. So it's hard for me not to believe that you guys are not doing this for money. People were trying to say I was on here for money until they figured out, okay, this dude ain't, listen, I'm just here for this shit, just to make sure we get out the truth. Because I continue to see Angie in my dreams. I continue to hear her spirit. I feel like I got to, because she's not going to be at rest until I do what I'm supposed to do, which is this. We still had unfinished business. And the way Angie left, maybe in her spirit, she felt like, Stone, we still got some unfinished business. I need you to go on that mission for me. This is the mission I'm on. I got thrown off with people online accusing me, saying crazy stuff. Then after that, I got thrown off with Jag coming at me crazy. Now I'm back where I'm supposed to be, on the mission that she set me to be on. I'm not a blood family member of Angie. I'm not her brother. I am not her cousin or her children, but I loved her like a sister. Yeah, yeah, I loved her like a sister. Yes, I did. And she felt that same way about me. She would constantly tell me that she loved me when we would talk or she get off the phone. Those are always her closing messages. I love you. I say, I love you too, Stoney. I love you and your brother. We love you too. She never let a phone call in without saying that. That's a soft spot in my heart. So that was my sister. And it's going to be my sister for life, in spirit now. I called her my sister. You understand what I'm saying? And she respected me like a brother. Henceforth, her calling me, she said, we're going to call each other. And she said, I'm going to call you Stoney. You're going to call me Stoney. That's going to be our inside thing. Only me and you know that. When people see us, we say Stoney and Stoney. That's our inside thing. That's what she said to me. You understand? So my mission is out of sincerity. I want to see justice. If the kids don't want to see it, that's on them. That's on them. If they don't want to see it, that's on them. I know Michael wants to see justice. I know he's got a lot of demons around him, and I pray every day that the shackles get unleashed from him. That young man is a good young man. He's just caught up in a tough place, man. He's just caught up in a tough place. I'm just being honest. He's a good dude. He's caught up in a tough place. He loved his mother. And I'll say again, every time there was any kind of contract or paperwork to sign, Angie would say one thing: Michael want to speak to you, Stone. I said, yes, ma'am, sis, put him on the phone. And Michael would get on the phone and he'd ask me questions about the different things in the contracts that were there. And he'd ask me about how things were going to work with Vegas and how's this. So what does that mean in that? And I would tell him. And I love the fact that he cared about his mom enough to get on the phone and talk to me and ask questions for his mom. Diamond never got on no motherfucking phone. She was never there with none of the phone calls, conference meetings, none of that shit. Never even heard her name, besides her mom sharing things with me that she felt like she needed to share with me. Sent me over to watch that video when they went on Steve Harvey. And then she gave me her analogy of her daughter. Now, she wasn't beating up on her daughter. She just told me how complicated she was. And she said, I just want my kids to love me. I don't understand how everything I do, my daughter, I can never do nothing right. I'm only telling you what she told me. So I don't know why motherfuckers get mad when I talk. How can I sit here and just tell you a lie when this is what the woman told me? And people want me to shut up and not talk. People want me to just shut up, Stone, don't say nothing. I'm telling you what this lady told me. She did not understand why her daughter would always make things complicated for her. She said, I just want my daughter to love me and appreciate me. That's all I want, Stone. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't have those kind of relationships with my stepkids that was complicated like that. This is her real daughter. All I could do was listen to her. And I used to say stuff like, you know, because I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I'd be like, you know what? She'll get better in time as she gets older. That's the only thing I could come up with. Because I didn't want to go too deep in asking her, why does she think? I really wanted to say, why do you think she acts that way? But I didn't want to get too deep into asking too much personal shit, even though she was sharing those things with me. So I just said, you know what? Sometimes it takes people to get older to get better, Stoney. In time, it'll get better. Things will get better with y'all. You know, as she has kids, and I didn't know she had kids. And she said, no, she has kids. I said, okay, well, as her kids continue to grow, the same energy she gives you, when her kids start giving her that energy, she'll have more respect for you. She'll come to you and she'll say, Mom, can we talk? And she'll apologize to you. That's what I said. So Diamond wasn't privy to the business that was going on. Now, she might have heard that Mom is going to do something in Vegas. Somebody might have told her. But at that time, she wasn't even speaking to Shayna because once again, Angie told me that Diamond did not like Shayna or trust her. I'm only saying what she told me. How can I sit here and make up a lie when it's the truth? If you were sitting on the phone calls with me, Diamond, you were able to hear that. Juanita would be on phone calls with us sometime. Shayna with her monkey ass would be on phone calls when we do conference meetings. You know, she had to be on there. She was the wrench, the monkey wrench in the middle of the, you know, the repairs and shit. Well, you know, not being a quality help, but she was on the conference meetings when we had our conference meetings about business. Yeah. And then I told Angie, I said, you know what? I said, you should be on the phone calls. You should be on the phone calls. You know, Juanita said something deep because Juanita called me and said, you know, you should make sure you got Angie on the phone calls when y'all doing business with Shayna on the phone. I said, you're right. I said, you know what, sis, you're right. You're right. I was going to tell her that anyway. I said, I just didn't want her to say, you know, she's busy or don't have time. She said, no, Stone, you need to let her know that she needs to be on those phone calls. I said, you know what? You're absolutely right, Juanita. So I called Angie and I said, Stoney, from here on out, the next calls we have with business, I would like for you to be on the calls so that you're able to hear about your own business and what's going on. And she said, okay. I said, yeah. So I'll let you know the next meeting. I want you to be on the calls. It's time for you to start really focusing on everything that's going on. This is a big step for us to do this Vegas thing and getting all your songs back. So you need to know every detail of what's happening in those meetings. And she obliged. She was like, you're right. Let's do it, Stone. It's easy for people to want to erase somebody they fear that know certain information. I mean, it's easy. Saudi Ali said her daughter vibes don't seem genuine. You know what? I'm going to try my hardest to be fair to Diamond, but it's hard for me to believe it's genuine. When she called me that day about 2-3 weeks ago on bullshit, I said before she called me, when she texted me, she said, can you talk? I said, as long as it's positive. I reiterated again. She said, are you going to call or something like that? I have to look at my text. I said, I'm on the phone with my boy Rufus Black. She knows Rufus. Rufus was a writer for her mom. Rufus, Angie was like Rufus' mom too, right? I said, when I get off the phone with Rufus, I said, but like I said, if it's positive, we can talk. I don't want to call if it's some bullshit. She said, I'm waiting. That was her response. She never responded like, no, Stone, we good. I just want to talk to you. I got some questions to ask. So as soon as I called her, you know, I'm in a good mood. I'm Stone. You know me. I'm always in a happy mood. I'm singing Diamond Girl, the song by Ryan Leslie. And she has the phone to Michael. And Michael started talking. And as I'm talking to Michael, she grabs the phone back, saying, kind of being negative to me about some things. And then Michael tries to calm her down, right? So then Meech gets on the phone, and then her and Meech go at it, right? She says, I am the firstborn of Angie Stone. I'm the firstborn child of... I try to understand this psychology when she speaks this way. She says, I am the firstborn child of Angie Stone. Meech say, and my son... Me said, I done sold these many records, and my son played Tupac in the movie. And she said, well, what does that have to do? He said, what does that shit have to do? The shit you saying have to do with anything. And that was it. Then she hung up, right? Then she texted me and said, now, I don't believe it was her. Said, I was trying to talk to you like an adult. You didn't even talk to your mom like an adult. Why the fuck you trying to talk to me like an adult now? So I know that wasn't Diamond. That was Shayna. Shayna grabbed the phone and texted that shit out. And then at the end of the conversation, this I knew that same person was on here live because they use this particular word. They love using this word, bookie, B-O-O-K-I-E. So when I saw this person online the other day say bookie, I was like, oh, that's that clown. That's Shayna. That's Shayna's style of writing, or Diamond style of writing. I don't know. I don't really know the big burly broad, and I don't know Diamond either. I knew her mom and I know Michael from talking to him all the time. So they use the word bookie. So that's how I knew the other day that was somebody from the camp. from their circle. That they love that word bookie. It's the most retarded word I've ever heard. Bookie. They love that motherfucking word. They be rocking that word every. They probably got T-shirts that say bookie on the front and back. Hey, you know, and for the people that want me to read your comments, and you really, if your comment is that important, give me a reason to read it. Because other than that, I ain't even paying attention to conversations. I'm on here speaking. And so if you want me to read some shit, give me a reason to read this shit. Other than that, I'm talking, motherfucker. Anyway, so the bookie thing let me know that that was another person in the camp, either Diamond or Shayna. I'm leaning more towards Shayna. Shayna been hiding, y'all, but we're going to flush her out. We're going to keep flushing her out. Don't stop talking about Shayna. We're giving too much attention on Diamond right now. We should be talking about Shayna. I'm just keeping it real because Shayna is the middle of the storm person who's hiding and trying to make everything look like it's normal. Shayna's the one that's running the play for everything wild, crooked, and unreasonable, and everything that makes no sense. Now, we could all say, you know what? Fuck this. Diamond and Michael are grown people, you guys. They're not kids anymore. Let them just deal with whatever's going to come. If their estate gets stolen, if money gets stolen, they'll be online crying, and you'll see them on, you know, on Steve Harvey's show telling the story about how they got robbed of their mama's estate. That's what happened. I'm telling you, goddamn Mike, that's what happened. They'll be on Steve Harvey or some show talking about how they got robbed. And everybody in this comment will be on there going, Stone tried to tell you. They'll be calling in the show, hey, Steve Harvey. Yeah, there's a guy named Stone. Yeah, he was trying to tell him. Maybe we should step back. We're wanting this for them so bad. They're not wanting this for themselves. Maybe we all should honestly, we love Angie. We're going to always love Angie. But it's obvious Diamond them don't give a fuck. Michael does, but that girl's got him on mute. I only do what I do. I'm going to be honest with you. I do it for Michael. For Angie and for Michael. Because Angie also wanted me to help Michael with his career. Period. She wanted me to help him with his career. She sent me a song of his that he worked on. She told me, tell your brother Michael wants to redo the Don't Walk Away song by Jade. And he went and did it. He did like a remix of it. Angie sent it to me. I was like, ooh, that's dope. And I told my brother, he said, oh, yeah, send it to me. I want to hear it. She wanted me to help Michael get a deal. And we had already talked about how we were going to set that up. I love to see everything happen for Michael. I don't really care about a disrespectful person. It could be a child or a mid-adult or an adult. I feel the same way about disrespectful people. I don't give a fuck about them. Disrespect is disrespect. Hold on, let me read that comment. Joyful Ladybug said, worried about Shayna harming Michael. We done with him. Yes. Yeah, I know. Joyful Ladybug. It's I'm so mixed up in mixed emotions right now about this shit. Not knowing what direction to go. I don't want to walk away. I still want to be available for Michael if he calls me and he needs me. Tracy Shorter, thank you for the donation, said, hey, Stone, new to your chat. Love your positive energy and Buddha as well. They're all afraid of Lethal, the professional warlock, serial killer, his dark magic rituals. It was a contracted hit. Y'all heard what she said. You guys heard what Tracy Shorter said. Go read what she said, you guys. Moderators, can you post her comment to the top? CC, thanks for the $5. She said, hang in there, Stone. You know we have your back. Sent you an email. Thank you, CC. Post her comment to the top. I can't listen. When people come in here and leave me comments, like Tracy did, Tracy Shorter, I have to respect the comments and let people speak their piece. She spoke her piece. I can't argue with her with that. But let's make sense of this. It's something strange going on with the children. I think we should stop calling them children too. Let's get out of that shit. They're adults. There's something going on with Angie's adult kids. Let's take away the kids. There's something going wrong with Angie's adult offsprings. That's a better word. Because if we keep looking at them like kids, we're going to continue to make excuses for them. They're not kids. They're adults. They're her offsprings. They choose to make these decisions. It's going to put them, and it doesn't matter what they think. I don't know. I know Michael wants to be in the music industry. I know Diamond can sing. She's a great vocalist. She's a great vocalist. But she is not going to make it in this business with an attitude like that. Ain't nobody going to want to fuck with her. I'm trying to tell you what I know. I deal with all the heavyweights in the game. All the ones that write the checks. I deal with them. They are not going to fuck with a big mouth person that they got to fight and she go on tour and she done got in a fight with some girl in the lobby. That's the spirit she carries. But she don't understand. She thinks on her mom name alone is going to allow her to make it. It's not. It's not. There's been plenty of celebrities' kids never made it. Never made it. And some of them have always been good kids and they still never made it. So now add attitude and dark energy and bullshit spirit on top of that. Do you really think that the universe and God has a place for you in the music industry with a spirit like that? No, he will not let it happen because he'll know what you're going to do with that. He know you will take that situation and build up all these fans. You'll have your fans doing crazy shit to people. Yeah, go out there and whoop somebody's ass for me. Yeah, I'm in Orange County right now. I need y'all to show up and whip this person. Yeah, right there in front of the building. Come out here and take care of that for me. That's the kind of energy that's exuded from her. And that's the kind of shit she would do. That's the reason why God is not going to bless you with that kind of situation. It's too much responsibility that he knows you are not ready for. Maybe when you're 60, he'll allow you to have a career in the music industry and really do really well and be successful. But as of now, you got a lot of soul searching to do inside, Diamond. You got a lot of fixing to do with your personality. And I'm not telling you something you don't already know. I'm not telling you something that the world does not already know. Let's go over this again. We're going to go over this autopsy again. We're going to read it down again. Okay? I'm not going to go all the way through. We're going to go over the causes of death, right? Excuse me, the causes of her passing. It says final diagnosis. Blunt force injuries. It has A, B, C, and D. Blunt force injuries to the head and neck. Conjunctional pituitary of both eyes, pituitary of oral mucosis. That word gets me the whole time. There it is, mucosis. Okay, B, torso. Minor abrasions. 2, fractures of the lateral left ribs, 4, 5, and 10. 3, fractures of interior 2nd through 6 left ribs. 4, lacerations of spleen with associated hemopterinium. Okay. 5, lacerations of right ventricle heart with associated hemopterinium. Yeah, hemopercardium. I'm sorry. My apologies. C, extremities. Abrasions of right shoulder region. Number 2, abrasions of both knees. D, history of motor vehicle crash and descendant found pinned beneath the vehicle. You know, what I hate when I read this is how she suffered, you guys. Like, that shit bothers me. And I want you to see that I'm not making this up. So for the people that are coming into my live, and you might think that maybe I'm lying to you, I don't know. I'm only telling you what people do sometimes. There it is right there. This is not allegedly. This is the actual autopsy report. I am bothered. I'm horrified after reading that because she suffered. She suffered, you guys. And imagine being at that scene when that happened and put all of yourselves in that position. What would you do? I would have, I'm sorry, you guys. I would have passed away trying to help her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would have passed away trying to help her. That's just my spirit. That's Stone's spirit. That's just me. Let me show you something. There was this lady that had a car accident and the car flipped. Meech pulled this woman out of the car. He went and pulled her out of the car. The car was turned to its right side. Yeah, to its left side. He went and pulled this woman out of the car. He didn't leave until she was out of the car. I would have probably, the truth, because I know my spirit, I probably would have lost my life trying to save Angie. That's my real spirit. I wouldn't have thought about myself. I would have thought about her screaming, help, help me. I couldn't have sit there and watched somebody scream, help me, and not try to do whatever I can. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't see that. I just can't see that. That's somebody's mother, sister, aunt, little sister. I can't see that. I can't sit there and see that and not do something. I am trying to understand. And the stories were conflicting because I remember in the beginning when it happened, people were arguing over who was trying to help her, right? That's what the story was. This person said, no, you didn't help them. No, that person said, oh, no, I tried to help them. That's what the story was. Everybody was trying to say they were the person that was trying to help her. Nobody ever got the story right that was in that van. That's what the story was the first day it happened. Like, that's the shit I was hearing. It made no sense. It made no sense. If it was pinned on his side, it seemed to me some motherfuckers got up out of there. Nobody really tried to help her like they should have. Y'all was worried about saving yourself. That's the real truth. That's why you ain't talked. Because people are going to ask you one question. Well, how come y'all didn't try? How come y'all didn't keep trying? You know you got to answer that question. Even when you speak, it can be 2 years from now. You got to answer that same question. How come you did not try? How many people were in the band? 9? Minus 8 pin? That's 8 people. You going to tell me 8 people can't come together and try to lift some shit up enough to get for somebody to pull the person out? I ain't buying this shit. I'm not. I owned a Sprinter before. They're top heavy. I always get nervous when even, knowing people that I have a Sprinter, I tell them to be careful when they drive. They're top heavy already. The wind can hit them and turn them over already. But one thing I know, if you got 8 people and you got the strength of God with you and there's an accident and somebody is pinned, all of y'all superpowers then. So what's the excuse? No, you want to know what it was? Nobody wanted to DIE. Everybody thought about themselves. You see, let me tell you something. When you become a fireman, I remember I thought I was, when I was younger, a younger kid, you just saying you can make all kinds of money being a fireman, right? You know, when you teenager, you're trying to figure out stuff you want to do. And they said, listen, the fireman said, well, you got to be willing to give your life for somebody else's. First question he asked the young men that was at this like little job work thing, I think I was 14. He said, would you give your life for somebody else's? If you can't raise your hand and say you're willing to give your life, then none of you guys are capable of being a fireman. Nobody raised their hand. From that day on is when I really saw. I raised mine, but nobody else did. I was like, he said, you would give your life? I said, yeah, if I'm trying to save somebody, then that's what I have to do. You know, me being 14 years old, I'm just, save the world. But that was my real spirit. But when you saw them hands come down, that is the real spirit of the average person. Let somebody start bucking at a club. Buck, buck. Everybody hiding. Ain't nobody thinking about saving their cousin. You thinking about saving yourself. That's what happened that morning. Niggas can lie and say they tried to save Angie. I ain't buying it. Until y'all get on camera and tell me how you tried to save her, I ain't buying it. I believe all of y'all got your asses out the band, especially when you saw that she was pinned and you felt like you couldn't help her. You was worried about your motherfucking self. And that's the real truth. It's okay to be honest. You were scared, but it doesn't mean it was right. It doesn't mean to stand around and watch this woman pass away. Because how long did it take for the ambulance to get there? I'm sure she passed away before they got there. It doesn't say on this autopsy. Maybe that's on the police report. But when she got to the hospital, she was already passed away, according to my conversation that morning on the phone from the hospital. That means that you guys stood there and watched her pass away. That means that you all stood there with your hands on your head because you were scared to go back in there and try to figure out how to pull her out or to try to lift that van as much as you could with every strength that you have in your body to try to save her. No, you were scared that that was going to be the end of your life. If you put yourself in the line of fire, you're not a soldier. You're the kind of person that can never fight for this country. If they needed to draft people, they probably definitely not going to draft you guys, or shouldn't. Because when you're faced on the enemy line and you got to go forward, you're going to be one of the ones that's hiding in war. You'll be hiding. They looking for you. You behind the bushes hiding. With your pop, 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 not even loaded. Because you scared. That spirit of fear, how can you have fear in the same place of God? How can you have fear in the same place of a Buddha spirit? How can you have fear in that same place of peace? Those two don't match. You either believe in God, you even believe in Jah, Yahweh, Buddha, whatever you believe in. You either believe in it or you don't. And if you don't fake the funk. Stop saying God, Jesus, Lord, and you really don't believe in that. You don't have faith in God. Because if you did, all of y'all would have helped her and figured out a way to get her from under that. Now, I could possibly be wrong. It could have been a very complicated situation, and it was hard to get her out. I already know what you're thinking. But guess what? I would have been the motherfucker standing there saying, come on, y'all. What y'all doing? Come back. That would have been me. I would have been the one with the spirit of the lion. No matter what, we got to get her up out of here. Why are we standing around? Y'all will never make me understand why you did not try to do anything to pull her up out of that or to lift that sprinter. I don't care what nobody say. The lightest part of the sprinter is the top part. So if it falls, right? If this is it and it falls this way, the lightest part of it is the top. The heaviest part is the bottom, right? The heaviest part is the bottom. The lighter part is the top. So if you had enough people on the side, you could have got that shit up. I'm just saying, I'm thinking. I could be thinking crazy right now, you guys, but I'm thinking. What would all of you have done? Would you have walked away and just watched her sit under that? I'm asking some serious questions. I'm saying some logical things here. Would any of you on this live have just stood there and let her stay pinned under that sprinter and not try consistently over and over until you have exalted everything in your body trying? Listen, somebody just said they were in an accident in shock. You the kind of motherfucker that would have walked away to fuck off my live with that shit. Collector Tribal, I got love for you now, but please, If you were in that band, Collective Tribal, I would have tried to go pull that motherfucker up. I don't care how shocked I was. I done fought in martial arts tournaments and been kicked in my head, elbowed, hit with elbows. That's shock. Same equivalent to an accident. And I'm still able to make it up out of there and still fight to finish that fight. That's equivalent to accident. They say football players, boxers, and martial artists, every time they get in the ring and fight, it's equivalent to having an accident because we're getting hit in the head and kicked and shit. It's that same shock we go through. So you're talking to somebody who has dealt with that all his life, fighting in the ring and stuff. I'm telling you, I've been punched and kicked and still got to maintain myself to try to finish out a fight. And I still maintain myself. There is no excuses. You might be disoriented for a moment, but if you climbing the fuck up out of the sprinter, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and you know there's people still in the band. You getting up out, you trying to get up out of it. So I ain't buying it. I'm not gonna buy it. Now I could get it at first disoriented, and then you're like, wait a minute, we got to go back and get her. I get it being disoriented, Tribal. I get it. But what about going back? Once you realize, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, we got to go back, you guys. We can't leave her like this. All I'm saying is it hard for somebody to say that? Nobody has spoken about this. Don't you guys find that strange, man? I'm just saying, what's wrong with speaking with, you ain't got to mention names. You could say, we tried to get her out. We lifted, we tried, we lifted, we lifted, we lifted. We couldn't lift it. There's nothing wrong with getting online saying that. But when you're not speaking, you're showing that you're about the money grab right now. And then trust and believe what I'm saying. Mark my word. As the universe is witness to what I'm saying, watch somebody try to write a book. Somebody that was in that band. Mark my word. Watch somebody try to write a book. Oh, yeah. Somebody gonna write a book. Just give it time. I was in the band. That's the name of it. I was in the band. When I was in the band. How things were when I was in the band. Why we didn't pull her out. We tried for a money grab. Oh, somebody's going to do it. Listen, you guys, this information for me has been real. It put me in a real fucked up place right now. Because now I'm visualizing this shit over and over again. I'm visualizing this shit over and over again in my head now. I see everything I read. I see it like a fucking movie right now. And it hurts my heart to the T. And I'm not going to be able to get it out of my spirit because it was already there anyway. And it's the replay is like over and over again, back to back. It's like a loop in my head. And now reading this, it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a minute before I completely am able to really deal with what I read. This is a lot, you guys. She didn't deserve to go out like this. There's no perfect way to leave this earth, but it didn't have to be like this. Angie Stone deserved better than this. She deserves better than what's even going on now with all this crazy stuff. She deserves better than that. Way better than that. I'm looking at everything that was going on before she passed away. She deserved better than what we are seeing right now with all this energies inside of her, the midst of her family. But I will tell y'all something. She whooping folks' asses right now. Oh, she ain't making it easy for them to get that money. Oh, she's more powerful in the spirit world than she was in the physical. She's in her real power right now. Best believe. Shayna Shells Bonche, when you're laying down at night in that house, because you ain't gonna be in that house too long. Trust and believe. Know that Angie is standing right there looking at your ass saying, I made the worst mistake of my life with this bitch. Oh, she's saying it. And she's looking at you guys, Michael and Diamond, and she's saying, what the fuck? I thought I tried to tell you guys about life, and if something like this happens, how things were gonna be. But Shayna Shells, oh, she on your head. Yeah, she on your head. Oh, trust me. She will haunt you the rest of your life until you get the shit right and until you leave that family alone. There's no good that's gonna come to you. I'm telling you, I don't speak bad on people and I don't speak bad words out. I just know what I know. There's no good that's gonna come to you with that sort of conviction of darkness. No good. No good. Trust me. You want to be a music industry mogul. You want to be an artist. You want to be a music industry mogul. You want to be an actress at the whack ass movies and music videos I done seen. And you want to convince people you're a businesswoman and you know about the music industry. You want to be at all of it wrapped up in one. Oh, and I forgot, you're a high level hoe. Well, kind of, sort of, low level. Because high level, you probably wouldn't have got caught. Got those 2 charges for hoeing. Yeah, I'm just saying. Angie is going to haunt you the rest of your life until you get it right. Oh, yeah, she ain't done. Oh, some stuff gonna happen to you in the spirit world. Oh, you best believe. And it's gonna be bad, bad, bad. Not gonna be good. Some stuff gonna happen in the spirit world. You can believe that. She's watching. She's in that house every day. She sees everything going on. You don't see her, but she sees you. And I'm sure you feel her presence. And she ain't happy. Not at all. Just remember that. This autopsy report, you guys, I'm really hoping that Alabama is going to do a press release and talk about what they're doing, if they're going to continue the investigation or they're going to stop. I don't know. I just got a feeling that if the autopsy is saying this, then FBI, they're going to go with the same thing that's on the autopsy. That's going to be a complete travesty, you guys. If they don't continue an investigation, this shit is going to be just, looks like YouTube's going to have to continue the investigation, because I just, after reading what I just read, they're making it look like it's an accident. Just an accident. It doesn't say homicide. It says accident. So once again, the police go off of whatever's on the autopsy. Even if they got a lot of evidence of whatever the autopsy is ruled insane, is what they're kind of going to base their situations on once they put together whatever information they have. Y'all know what I'm saying? Angie Stone's autopsy today, you guys. And I apologize for chopping up the words. My apologies. Please forgive me. I will do a shorts video, and I will post these in the shorts. Give me a little time to post it, and I'll probably do, I don't know, maybe a couple. I'm going to see if I can get it in the shorts to fit. If not, I'll do a couple different shorts and showing the autopsy report. And that way you guys can look at it yourself. Man, gonna be a tough evening for me today, man. I know I'm gonna go into crying mode. I know y'all tired of seeing me cry, so I'm trying to keep myself together on here so I don't have to do that. But I don't know, you guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so in shock right now. I just don't even know what to say anymore. The fight's not over with, but damn, if they're ruling this as an accident, we got a lot of work to do, y'all. Just know that. If they're ruling this as an accident, we all have a lot of work to do. All the other content creators that are on this Angie Stone sector, I want to thank you guys, man. Thank you, each and every one of you guys, for doing what you're doing. And thank you for coming together, like I asked in the beginning, to support this movement. All respect to you guys, man. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you, all the new people subscribed to me, each and every one of you that came on here and took your time to sit with me and for me to share this information. Even though I chopped up some of the words, That's how it is with medical stuff. Everybody gonna chop the words up. I think they purposely make it that way. You know what I'm saying? But I brought it back again and read it again. Thank you for hanging in there with me as I chopped up those words. Let's say a prayer for Angie Stone, you guys. I want everybody to close your eyes and say a silent prayer. Let's give it three, about a minute or two of silent prayer for Angie Stone Spirit. And let's do that now, you guys. Let's take a pause, and all of you guys, I want you to close your eyes and give a silent prayer to Angie. Okay, so let's do that now, you guys. Okay, you guys, thank you for sending prayers out to the spirit of Angie. When I get up in the morning, as a Buddhist, this is what I say every day. For 90 days, we have a ritual that we do. And I say, bless Angie Stone, 63 years old, to be human again in the next life. And I say that in successions of threes. I do this every day. Since the time she passed, you have to do it for 90 days. And I burn incense and I chant to Angie to be human again in the next life. And once again, I say, I bless Angie Stone to be human. Angie Stone, 63 years old, to be human again in the next life. In the next life. I say that every single day, you guys. And like I said, I've been saying it since she passed away. And in Buddhism, we do that for 90 days when somebody passes away. It helps them transition in the spirit world so that they can be human again in the next life. And that's what I've been praying for. Then after the 90 days, we don't do it anymore. So just to let you guys know what I do every morning when I get up, Angie's in my prayers every single day. I love you guys. Thank you for checking this out. I will post the autopsy report in the shorts so you guys can have it and you can read it for yourself. So you can see I'm not capping. I'm not on here. This is not alleged information. It's real. Peace and love. Stone Paxton, Music and Life blog. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for the hashtag Angie Stone. And I don't know if one of my moderators can put in their Styles or Mystique or CC the what's the name for Angie? The Justice for Angie Stone. Doggone it. The petition. If you guys can put the petition in there for everybody to click and go sign it, please sign the petition, you guys. Please sign the petition. We can still move in numbers, even though this autopsy is saying accident. If you guys are feeling uncomfortable with that, we can still push the issue by getting this petition up. There it is right there. Click that petition, sign it. Please. I beg of you, sign it, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace and love. I had an interview with Elijah Baker from Tony, but he had to do a graduation with his daughters. So we're changing the date of the interview. And I still have other interviews. Randy Hall, Elijah Baker, Bo Barrington from the Temptations, and a lot of other people. So I'll keep you posted on that. Guys, have an awesome day. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, okay? Peace and love to all my moderators, you guys. I'm out.